You know what? This Arsenal team, they keep winning. They are beasts. They won at their best today. But when you're not at the best, when you go away from home in your biggest game of the season against all the pressure and you come away with a win like that against all that pressure, everything Tottenham gave them, that's why they're different this season. The Arsenal of last year would have crumbled there. The Arsenal of this year, we've seen Manchester City do it where they haven't been great and they go away and they get these big wins and they win the league. And Arsenal provided that today. And I see a lot of Tottenham fans saying, we were robbed. I mean, Mickey van der Ven was offside. I mean, I always say give the goal scorer the benefit of the doubt in those situations. I think it's ridiculous when they have to take that long and draw the lines. But Tottenham robbed themselves. Tottenham weren't robbed. They robbed themselves of their set-piece defending because it was horrific. Like, watching Tottenham try and defend today, I thought I was watching my team. I thought I was watching Manchester United try and defend because Tottenham did enough to win the game. And then they robbed themselves with the most awful set-piece defending. I do really want to talk about two players in particular, Kai Havertz and Bukayo Saka. They were the best two players on the pitch today. They were phenomenal. Obviously, Romero was Tottenham's best player. But Tottenham had 2.37 XG to Arsenal's 1.08. Tottenham had 4 big chances to Arsenal's 3. Arsenal today basically did the job. They were clinical. They went away from home with all the pressure. And they've said, Manchester City, over to you. Manchester City, you've got to go and win now, keeping the pressure on Manchester City. But there's one guy that's been absolutely phenomenal lately that I want to talk about, and that is Kai Havertz. I mean, he today, for all the bantering at the beginning of the season, for the money spent on him, you have to sit there, even as a rival fan, even as a Man United fan here, I have to sit there and go, fair play to Mikel Arteta. Mikel Arteta saw something in Kai Havertz. He saw that Leverkusen Kai Havertz hadn't completely gone. He spent a lot of money. He took the risk on Kai Havertz. He played him in midfield and he was a bit hit and miss and it wasn't working. And then he played him in attack and we were starting to see more and more potential as Havertz as a 9 because he's been better as a 9 than in midfield. And we're starting to see Havertz evolve into his best role. Havertz has all of a sudden got that confidence back. And a lot of it is Mikel Arteta, the coaching, finding his best role. But another big part of that is confidence. At the beginning of the season, Kai Havertz was gone for confidence. And his confidence has come back. And he was incredible today. I want to talk about Saka as well, but his performance, I was very, very wrong on Kai Havertz. His performance was incredible. 45 touches. He made the most of the little service that he got. He got a goal. He got an assist. But he made 2 key passes. The assist he got to Saka was just an unbelievable assist. His goal was incredibly well taken. Clinical header. Won 7 out of 9 of his aerial duels as well, and he did the job. And the thing about Kai Havertz is we know what he can do off the ball. He's a very good player off the ball, but he's also shown that quality on the ball. He doesn't get a hold of the ball as much in midfield to be a midfielder, but he's someone that I guess if you're playing a West Ham is quite good to drop in midfield because he can win it in the air and help Arsenal keep the ball in midfield and play over the man-to-man press. But he is a number 9. I mean, 13 goals contributions in his last 11 games. Majority of them coming as a number 9. I read somewhere that Kai Havertz has a goal and assist every 55 minutes at centre forward, by the way. That's 13 goal contributions in 723 minutes, showing that he's really evolving into that top number 9 because he doesn't have loads to do because Tottenham actually controlled the game for elements of it. And I think one thing Arsenal need to look at is saying you control the game on the ball, not off the ball. And today Arsenal tried to control the game off the ball, which I understand, Spurs, fresh legs, away from home, but Arsenal have that elements of control on the ball because they've got such technically gifted players. But Kai Havertz, 2 goals against Chelsea, 2 goals against Brighton, a goal against Newcastle, got a winner versus Brentford. I think he got that big winner versus Luton earlier in the season as well. He's actually been a brilliant signing. For all the banter, for all the stick, you look at it now and you look at how many key points Havertz has rescued, how many times Havertz has turned up in big games. Liverpool game, he was arguably man of the match. And he's actually become a brilliant signing because what you see with Kai Havertz is he's tall. He's a pain. He's a pain in the arse is how I describe him if you're a defender. He's tall, he holds up the ball, he passes. He gives you a bit of everything. He plays as a number 9, he can drop into deeper areas, hold up the ball, pass the ball. He allows Arsenal to just have a bit more control in the final third because he can retain the ball and keep the ball, hold it up until Saka and Trossard and Odegaard have got up the pitch, which means Arsenal, and I think this is something Liverpool have struggled with, is Liverpool boot it up the pitch, then sometimes they lose the ball, give it away, and they're rushing to put the goal in. Whereas Arsenal, Kai Havertz has been this outlet to kind of hold up the ball, keep the ball in the final third, so then Arsenal have the ball in the final third more. Obviously today, a bit of a different scenario, but you could see it. He's done this multiple games now. It's not a fluke. It's not, okay, he's had one good game. He's consistently doing this. as a 9, he's very good with his off-the-ball movement, dragging out defenders. We saw that in the Liverpool game when he was dragging Konate out, getting him sent off, creating space for his opposition, making the role for his teammates and making his teammates better, facilitating them very well with his off-the-ball work. But we're now seeing his on-the-ball work. The runs in behind versus Chelsea, again, that's off-the-ball. I guess his intelligence to make those runs, but he's becoming more clinical. He pops up and he makes those runs into the box, these box-crashing runs that defenders struggle to defend against. He's got, obviously, the athleticism. He's got the work rate. He presses. But you're now also seeing, the quality. And this is my notes on Kai Havertz that I wrote down. I said he makes dangerous runs in behind off the ball. He's incredibly smart with his movement, and he has been all season. His ability to draw big defenders out and create space for opposition has been key. Today, we saw Kai Havertz's ability to win headers, win his duels, and win the ball back for Arsenal, particularly higher up in the pitch in the final third, so Arsenal can sustain the ball there. We saw in the past he makes those box-crashing runs to score goals, which are incredibly difficult for defenders to mark because he comes out of nowhere. We know he has the ability to drop deep and hold up the ball in midfield and allow Arsenal to play with a man-to-man press. He has the ability to facilitate wingers, but today he showed he does a lot more. His retention, his hold-up, his movement was great. Great finish, great header, good in the air, elite number 9 performance, hold-up play, link-up play, work rate and goal. That's what Kai Havertz delivered today, a much better all-round game. And that was my notes on Kai Havertz because today, he put in a complete performance. He's had some weaknesses in his game, he's had some strengths in his game, but today he put in that elite performance. And again, his statistics don't even paint the full picture. It was more his off-the-ball work that you won't see again there. But he was brilliant today. And I think him and Saka really did the job today. I think Saka's, looks exhausted, come under a little bit of stick towards the end of the season. But Saka showed up and provided as well. And I do want to talk about Bukayo Saka. What a well-taken goal. But again, Kai Havertz, man, he's unstoppable at the moment. He's now got 13 because he obviously got the goal. A 13-goal contribution in his last 11 games. Absolutely unstoppable at the moment. I tell you what, a lot of it goes to Mikel Arteta for finding this in Havertz, but a lot of it's confidence. People don't realise it's confidence. Now, I'm going to say something. I don't think Arsenal had their best game. They do think that Saliba and Gabriel had a good game. Saliba won 100% of his aerial duels. Gabriel won 100% of their ground duels. They had a lot of defending to do because Arsenal were not controlling the game in midfield for a change. And I think they did a good job together at controlling the game. If you look at William Saliba, before I talk about Saka, a lot of people were slating the Arsenal defenders today, but most ball recoveries, most headers, most interceptions, 100% aerial duels, 1-1 block. I thought Saliba and Gabriel were under it a lot today. Not the best game from Declan Rice or Partey or Odegaard. We know what they're capable of. They're capable of a lot better things. But I thought that Saliba delivered, and I thought that Gabriel delivered under what was high press circumstances. Arsenal decided to control the game off the ball, which is a massive risk, inviting on pressure, and the box defending from those players was brilliant. And I think Bukayo Saka as well put in an absolute defensive shift for Arsenal. 5 out of 6 tackles was made by Bukayo Saka. He was absolutely brilliant for Arsenal today as well, and obviously he got his goal as well. I think that Arsenal defensively did put in a good performance in the sense of off the ball, but they didn't control the game like they want to, and they made those final 10 minutes very intense. I mean, I was sitting there hoping that Spurs get an equaliser. I really was. I can't lie. I was like, come on, Spurs, so I can wind my Arsenal friends up in the group chat. But, Saka was brilliant today. He wasn't super involved. This was his first half numbers, but he did the job. And I think it was one of those games, and it reminds me of this. This could sound like a weird comparison, but when Man United used to play Man City, we knew this was when we came second. And Ollie beat Manchester City in every game he played at the Etihad because we'd let Manchester City have the ball and we control the game off the ball because we were actually all right defending. And then obviously, Rashford was in good form. He was playing like Saka was. Martial was quite good that season. Obviously, we had Greenwood and all that. And I remember that we basically invite the pressure on the City. And then we just, when we had the ball, we did well in the final third. We got our goal. We let them have possession and we got our goal. And it reminded me of that today. And I think, some Arsenal fans will be stressing. But at the end of the day, this was probably Arsenal's biggest game of the season. They've obviously got Manchester United away and we've been dreadful. But I hope that we do give you a bit of a game. But this was their big game of the season because it puts the pressure on City. Yes, City can go above them, but Arsenal got the points on the board. That puts massive pressure on Manchester City today. But it also shows that even when they're not at their best, even when Spurs are piling them on pressure, they can win. Because the Arsenal of last season crumbled. To win the Premier League, you've got to win when you're at your best and find ways to win when you're up against it. With the pressure against you, with the intense ending that it was, and Arsenal found a way to win. Gabriel and Saliba with some of the best box defending I've seen this season. Kai Havertz with an unbelievable performance. Bukayo Saka was absolutely brilliant. So fair play to Arsenal. Guys, please do hit that like button. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new. See you next time. And